Hi everyone, this is Michael from Seagull again, and this is the end of leg two. As you can tell, we were all pretty hungry after a 10-hour day. Look at us go. Today was quite an exciting day again. We went from Arklow, it was where we finished yesterday, and we ended up in the fairly lovely Kirmore Key after seeing most of the southeast coast of Ireland. So I think we're all pretty excited about how it went, right?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, we became Atlantic sailors, right?
For the first time.
Pretty happy about it. So I think if we quickly run through it, feel free to jump in whenever I'm missing something. But this morning we left at what time? Actually, Matty, I can't remember. What time was the first
9:30.
one? 9:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a bit
No,
after
I thought it was
9:30.
10 to 10.
No.
You were
It was a
9:30,
bit
we left the
9:30.
9:30. Okay, so we left at 9:30 out of Arklow. We had a funny exit because we almost were going a bit fast into another boat, but then we got pushed off and everything worked out okay. Then we left out into the harbour, and today, actually, I'd like to say nobody got sick today. I think that's a really important thing to mention before we get
Completely different day.
into it. Oh, today was beautiful. I managed to personally be below deck and survive
And cook.
as well, and cook. Anyway, so we left out. We went into Arklow Bay, right?
Yeah.
So we went into Arklow Bay, and it was a lot calmer today. A lot less wind. I think it was force 2 or 3 for most of it, with some even force 1, which are just very low winds. And we were accompanied by some other people as well. Well, not quite accompanied. We took different routes, but we were super fast. So some of the people that were ahead of us and took shorter routes, we actually bet them. Look at us go.
That's down to the boat.
That's not about. That's not us. Yeah. So how did your day start? Actually, Matti, you tell us. You had quite an interesting start to the.
Well, I was exhausted yesterday, so I went to bed at like 7 or something.
7 in
Just, yeah, it's pretty early for me. And then I woke up. Again, Liam's alarm. Yeah, Liam's alarm again. Yeah, there was an alarm on, and I think it was Liam's.
No, actually, I think it was mine this time.
All right, whoever's it was.
But it
I blame
turned off,
Liam.
though.
I blame Liam. So that's how it turned out.
He had a grudge against me all day.
Then we went for breakfast, and yeah, I went to the toilet before I got on the boat this
Good
time.
job. He didn't see
Very
God.
important. And then yeah, we headed off, and it was a beautiful day. I was sun tanning. I was on the deck.
Yeah.
You're fishing?
He was
I was fishing.
actually in his swimsuit.
I was doing everything
Out
but
there.
sailing.
Yeah, everything. That's a pretty good description
It was
of
a good day.
your morning. Then we even saw some like glassy. How did you describe it?
Rolling waves.
Some rolling waves that were just glassy once we got down a bit more south, and that was really lovely. And
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever seen a shark in real life. I'm pretty sure it was a
so
shark.
jealous. I missed it because I was cooking.
I saw 2 seals sunbathing as well.
Yeah.
Sunbathing.
Saw
Yeah.
that.
You know, I think
Yeah.
they were because they were staying in the same spot.
Just
Um,
chilling.
A
Yeah.
ton of birds as well.
Ton of birds, but the
Yeah.
shark, that was crazy.
That's
you know?
yeah. I'm so jealous. I think I may have seen it maybe because I saw like a silver shadow, like a silver reflection when I just got out.
It could
the
have
boat.
been a porpoise.
But,
Porpoise, yeah, like a dolphin type.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
I think it was a shark.
Yeah.
I mean, you hope it was a shark.
Yeah, no, so I think we really enjoyed the first part because we were just chilling out listening to music for most of it. I was so happy I managed to successfully cook with the well, there were a bit of waves. There were more, well, obviously there were more than I'm used to considering I've never cooked in a moving boat. And took 2 hours to
And we
get
ate
to
upstairs.
Lanzarote, but we ate upstairs, and I think the chicken had a bit too much salt. But other than that, I think it went pretty well for
I
first
thought
time.
it was great. The vegetables were very good.
Thank you.
I honestly prefer the vegetables to the meat.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Was they that good?
Thank you. Thank you. And so we just chilled for the first while. I don't think there was anything of note necessarily. Just we saw a load of beaches.
Oh yeah,
on
there's
the
beautiful
Arklow coast.
beaches below Arklow. What was interesting as well is what route we would take. We're using an app called Savvy Navi, and we also have Navionics boating and whatever. But we have some good friends, Stoyan and Morris and Derek and Via, who've been given hints on which banks to stay to keep on our starboard, our port, etc. So we did a mix of between the advice we got from friends as well as what was on the app. So we didn't stick just to the app. We went inside the Arklow Bay, and then the three of us who left Arklow, all of the others went inside of the Lucifer bank.
That was really cool. There were the waves in the middle of the sea.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
went outside into the sea, and that's actually where you saw the seals or the shark and everything else. So when we went outside, and you could see the waves hitting the Lucifer bank,
It was so cool.
that was pretty good. So
There
we
were
took
just
a different
random
route.
waves in the middle of the sea. It was really, really weird.
Yeah.
Or you could see the bank.
Yeah.
You could actually see
Yeah.
the difference.
Go ahead, sorry. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was good. And then we came all the way. We passed Rosslare, where the ferries go out, and turned around Cairnsore Point, which is kind of the most southern easterly tip of Ireland.
And we saw the famous lighthouse you mentioned. as well.
Tusker Rock.
Tusker Rock.
Yeah, we had that out on our left hand side. And then we got a nice bit of sailing once we turned onto the Copper Coast or the
Yeah,
South
yeah.
Coast. The boat was heeled a bit, and we were sort of
It
motoring
changed.
along.
It changed.
You three hopped out on the side of
We
the
were just hanging
on the
off
high
edge,
side of
yeah.
the boat, just chilling.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Liam, do you remember the water and the air just
just
completely
changed, yeah,
and
yeah.
we were just joking about how we're in the Atlantic now.
Yeah,
It's
it's the
really
first
good.
time ever sailing in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And because the water was way a much deeper color of
Mhm.
blue, even though the water was similar depth,
Mhm.
and the waves were like bigger,
Mhm.
and it was just
Yeah.
experience, yeah.
And I think that was when we crossed our first tidal gate together. I think, right?
Yeah, that
Am I
was
correct?
a big timing. So to go around Cairnsore Point, you're supposed to go high water Dover minus 3 hours. And so we asked the guys in Arklow when would they leave to approximate that just for their own, and they would have gone, we say 1 hour before high tide in Arklow, but I said let's go 1 hour and a half, so we took the extra half hour
And it worked
ahead of
out.
that, and it worked out perfectly. We just went nicely around the corner to come straight on for Kilmore Quay.
Yeah.
That's when the interesting stuff
Yeah,
started
exactly.
happening.
So chilling all day, right? hanging off the side of the boat. Even everything was fine, and then what's the first thing that happened? So we were about to come in.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
a relatively complex entry, but we were like, okay. So instead of trying to come in normally, you said, how about we try motor in? So first thing, we want to take down the sails.
Sure.
So what happened there?
So first thing we were going to take down the head sail and then the mainsail, just kind of a normal process. And so we turned into the wind as you normally do to give yourself a bit of a chance. And actually we put you on furling it back in,
Yeah.
and you couldn't pull it. And you're a pretty strong guy, so if you couldn't pull it, there was something wrong.
I think you substituted me in there.
Yeah. He tried.
He tried.
And I was like, okay, this is not working. Then I tried, and it wasn't working.
And then it seemed to be stuck, so I left the three of you guys with that to do while I kind of ran up on the bow. And I think I was asking Matteo to sort of loosen the furl, or one of you to loosen the furl. So what I did then is I found that the rope was being pulled straight back, whereas if I pushed my finger against it and made it come out to the side, the pressure against the roll of we say rope that was in there was preventing it from getting caught. So when I did it, so I think I now know another way that we could not get it caught, because that was fundamentally the problem we
Gotcha.
had yesterday as well. You know?
Yeah, that's 2 days in a row where you can just see circles at the end of our Strava.
And that was all to do with the furling line sort of knotting as we pulled it. you know?
Yeah. But I think we're learning a lot in that specific regard along the way. You mentioned. You
But
might
we
have a
were in
system
wavy
even.
patches, because I was definitely going up and down somewhere between 5 to 10 meters in every few seconds. You know?
The
Yeah.
rocks were shallow. There was
Huh?
lots of waves. I think.
Yeah, there were lots of waves, so it's very entertaining to be doing that type of stuff when the bow was going. Whoop.
It's I don't know, for anyone who hasn't sailed, you look at the sea and it's flat and it's one color, and then all of a sudden it changes color and it becomes much darker. We were on the other side of that today, and we found out that at least in this case it's because it's really, really wavy, and then all of a sudden it's flat, and it was because of the banks between the islands. Right.
Exactly.
So then, right, we managed to sort it out, and we were like, okay, now we have to navigate these banks because they get really, really low. They get like half of
Half a
our
meter.
potential depth, right? They get half a meter, which
Yeah.
is just impossible for us.
But
But-
what's the process to go in?
So
Yeah.
The
fundamentally,
official process.
Yeah.
Actually, no. Maybe the understood process.
The initial understood
well, the
process.
understanding is very different now than it was an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And the process to go in is you go through St. Patrick's Bridge, which we did, which are two boys, a red and a green boy. And then there's another boy that you have to go as far as, and then line up for a transit for Kilmore Quay.
Mhm.
Now, this is where I know my error. I thought when you got to that other boy,
Mhm.
whatever needed to be lined up would naturally somehow be lined up between the church and whatever pole. And I wasn't certain which pole it was.
Uh-huh.
And I was asking all of these guys, thinking we had the almanac out, we were trying it. There was no one
We
ahead
had
of us.
binoculars.
Yeah. And so I was getting various pieces of information and instructions from different places. I wasn't certain, so that was probably what was funniest of all. So getting a little bit stressed, to be honest. And I was reading
Because you're really shallow water. Right?
really shallow
So what
water.
happened to the
Like
boat?
we only had like a little strip to make.
So
What could
I
go
think Liam and Michael got it right, sort of thing, around the poles, and they were both telling me go more to port. And
We were shouting, go more towards.
and I was resisting because I didn't have a clear understanding of that lineup.
But the thing
Yeah.
was,
Oh yeah,
we were, but it wasn't. He was wrong. I was reading it as well, because on the chart plotter, on the electronic one,
Mhm.
there are two numbers. There's the knots, so the speed we're going at,
Mhm.
and the depth, and
Yeah.
that's in feet, right? So, we both saw it, and because he was stressed out about it being too shallow, we both saw not the depth, which was 30 feet, which is about 10 meters.
Which
We-
is absolutely fine.
Which is fine, because we
Right.
have a draft of 1.8 meters.
yeah,
8,
even
5
5, 6
That
foot would
means
say.
the
5, 6 foot. Yeah.
So,
the boat.
yeah,
Can
how
go
deep
down, yeah.
the water can be. Yeah.
And but instead we both looked at the speed, and we just saw 1.2, 0.6,
Yeah, 'cause the
and you're
thing
like,
is,
oh shit.
You were
yeah.
slowing it down.
Yeah,
which
but the
meant
funny thing,
speed
there was a funny
decreasing.
feel on the
Mm.
rudder,
Mhm.
and it felt like something was dragging, but it could have been actually. Now that I think about it, all of the waves because we were in the shallow area. But I thought, oh my God, we're touching the bottom.
The thing was though,
But we weren't.
I
But
re-
apparently it was only half a meter, right? That
Yeah.
deep, apparently, which means we would have definitely been stuck in retrospect.
That's the lowest point. But we were also in the top
Mm.
2 hours of the high tide, so we
Gotcha.
weren't actually in a bad position.
Mhm, mhm.
But when you know something's to be done very precisely and
Yeah.
you're not clear on it,
That's
it's
true.
stressful.
That's fair.
But-
That's fair.
Anyways, we were stressed out. And then
No, I was, and
we
you
were all
guys tried to
stressed
cope
out,
with it.
right? And we were all stressed out. And then I realized, oh wait, I'm looking at the knots, not the feet. And then I looked at the feet, and it was 30 feet. And I was like, Dad, you know it's 30 feet. And we both were like, oh my God. That's hilarious. We just started laughing. Because we've been stressed out for the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, me
We're
and
going to
Michael
hit
were
the ground.
confused.
We're going to hit the
Like-
ground.
There's plenty because we were also looking in the water. We're like,
No, but it
"There's
felt
tons."
weird on the helm. Okay.
Yeah.
But
And then,
so we're so relaxed now.
yeah,
you
but
know?
then after that, everything just calmed down.
Yeah.
We said, go to port. And he went to port.
And we went
And
to
then we
port.
went in.
Yeah.
And he went in. And it was
And
just.
everything was fine. Well,
That's fine.
almost, pretty
Almost
much,
fine.
right?
Yeah, well, we were potentially going to have to raft, which means tying your boat to other boats. I've never done that before, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going in and around. It's quite a tight space, but eventually, and I was moving probably a little bit too fast at some stage,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
but got it fine, and we tied up against the fuel berth. I went into the marina guy and said there was actually a free berth rather than rafting.
Yeah.
So I ran down to you guys.
A nice one too.
Yeah. Well, beside a very expensive boat. So I
have
said,
insurance,
guys,
though."
run, take the lines off, turn on the engine. And I'm running down to the boat.
And
We were so confused.
We were looking at each other
What's
afterwards as
going
well
on?
because you started going faster.
Yeah.
In this case, and we're like, guys, how do we tell him to chill out?
I probably was a bit preloaded from too stressed on the way in.
Too much cortisol.
Because you're
too much
like,
cortisol.
you almost went into another boat again.
Well, the little life raft.
Yeah,
right,
the little life
So we reversed in, and actually we parked it perfectly. It was really
fine.
well executed.
Yeah.
Beside that lovely, expensive motor yacht, you
Yeah,
know.
with the people on it, so we couldn't have had.
Well, we
like,
didn't know they were on it, but they
liability,
walked
yeah.
off just as soon as we had parked. And finished
Lucky
another
us.
parking test, you know.
Yeah. So that was their day.
Yeah.
That was their. It was a fun day. It was a fun day.
I think I'll sleep well tonight.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
me too.
yeah.
I'm exhausted.
I feel salty as well.
Well, actually, when I go back to
Dry.
this
Dry.
morning, I woke up and I thought I want to go for a shower. I want to go for a cup of coffee. The three of yous were out, and I tried waking each one of you. I think when I came back,
you went
said,
out at 6 o'clock
Dad,
in the
did I
morning.
dream that you tried to wake me up to go and get water or something?
I wasn't sure. I honestly wasn't sure. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was real,
But
but it could have been a dream. Yeah.
So it was a good day.
It was a good day. It was a
Great
good day. Yeah.
And then to end it off, when we came to the harbour, we had two fantastic people waiting for us. I saw Aaron waving his arms, and
our
I
little
saw this
brother.
Aaron come around to us,
Come
say hello,
around,
you
yeah.
welcome us.
Come around our set.
Yeah. And so he was brilliant. And then there's another person who's always behind the camera, but she's taken a lot of the photographs that you might see of us. Come around and say hello, Monica.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Okay.
She's trying to not laugh this
Yeah.
entire time.
Thank you very much. So we had a family. We are having a family reunion at the famous fish and chippers here. So it was
Yeah.
great, Michael.
It was. I have only one last question, which Liam was preparing for earlier,
Oh, yeah.
and that is, what is one thing you guys learned today? So if you want to go kind of this way,
Clockwise,
or you actually have an answer
yeah.
prepared.
So I have a few things. Probably the main thing was I'd never put out a preventer, which is basically when you have the wind right behind you,
Mhm.
and you have in this case we were goose winging it, which means we have the mainsail out on one side and the head sail out on the other. But if you by accident turn slightly too much, the mainsail could move really quickly over and hit you in the head really, really hard.
Mhm.
So a preventer is just a rope connecting the boom to the side of the boat so it doesn't smash
Yeah.
all the way over.
Good. So you
And
don't
then-
end up overboard.
And that's a really good one if you've got your
Yeah.
wind to your back.
And then probably another thing was just realizing again, just
Again.
yeah, no, but just learning it more is that being out at sea helps you be seasick less.
Yeah.
Because yesterday I was feeling dead all day, and today I probably felt slightly nauseous for about 5 minutes, and then.
But that was after a while when we
Yeah.
hit some proper waves too.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah,
Very good.
Okay.
Very good. Do you wanna go ahead?
Well, two things really. One is I know how to fix the furler, which is like every problem you learn to fix on a boat is really helpful. So the two problems we had today and yesterday were with the boat were fundamentally the furler.
Gotcha. The people we're not going to
huh?
talk about. The people we're not going to talk about.
Yeah, well, that's that's a subject beyond here. And then the other one is exactly what needs to be lined up on pilotage plans to be crystal clear about it.
Yeah. Not
you
just
know,
hope for the best.
any lack of clarity. I thought it would be particularly easy to figure it out. It wasn't as easy as I thought, or it wasn't clear. So
It was a bit hard to spot what exactly.
yeah. So
Fair enough.
still learning. So the pilotage plans will become a higher priority.
That's good.
Yeah, not hope for the best.
Speaking of the navigator,
Navigator.
right?
What
What
did you
did the
learn
navigator
today?
learn?
What did I learn? Yeah, I learned to navigate, I guess.
Take the logs.
I
I
think
think-
the sunbather. is
Yeah, I
what
think he
learned
learned how
today.
to be in his shorts.
You were
and nothing
fishing
else.
today.
Yeah, I was fishing as well, so I'd
Yeah.
bring some bait next time. So I catch some fish.
So did you
But
learn
also, if you
anything?
see a shark coming towards your rod, maybe just pull the rod back. You don't want to fish a shark; they're too big.
We were trying to think of ways of potentially going to swim, but it didn't work out.
Well, I thought you wanted to hang yourself off a spinnaker line. But
I really wanted to do like
Have
a
a
pirate
helmet.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have
Um,
been dangerous.
I think for myself, I learned. Well, first of all, how to cook on a boat, which it means keeping the area a bit cleaner. It means making sure you know where everything is a lot more than in a regular house where you can kind of leave stuff everywhere if you really wanted to. Not that you do want to. And in regards to sailing, I mean, honestly, I was using the Sabinavi as well. So I was understanding degrees and a little bit about the charts because I was looking
Yeah.
at them later when we were trying to figure out what the hell was going on. So a little around that area is I think where I kind of picked up the most myself, and I was also interested in. I realized that I used to sail a while ago that I have an interest in optimizing angles and stuff like that. For sails, because you can go sailing, or you're like me, you're like, all right, wait, if we pull it this way we might get a
Yeah,
little
you
more
love
speed.
trimming the sails, as it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So that's it. So unless anyone else has anything else to say.
Aaron?
What did you learn?
Did you learn to?
Buses are inconsistent.
In
Alright.
Ireland or?
Maybe everywhere.
Well then, thank you for listening, and we'll
Yeah.
see you on our next leg. We'll see what happens.